Hey, it's Jen, Bitch in a Hurry, Not So Mystical Tarot. This is going to be a reading for Sun, Moon, or Rising sign of Capricorn, and it is going to be for the new moon in Scorpio on November 7th, 2018. Scorpio new moon is a time of deep transformation and also a time of forgiveness, and that can be, the transformation can come through that forgiveness, whether it's you forgiving yourself or forgiving other people. But either way, that's going to be an integral part of you really getting something out of this, because in a new moon you have new beginnings. It's a time for you to really recreate something about yourself or really change the course that you're on. One thing, when you have these new beginnings and you want to put your intentions out to the universe during a new moon like this, you want to be very, very clear. The universe doesn't really do inference, so you want to make sure that you're clear. And I was explaining this in the other videos, that instead of saying, I hope I do better at work, or I hope our family gets along, you want to say, like, I want to really make amends with my sister by doing this, this, and this, or at work I'd like to make this much money, or I would like to attain this position. Whatever it is, you want to be very specific. And the last thing about the Scorpio new moon is that these intentions that you have, you may want to keep them kind of to yourself. Maybe among a few close friends you could share them, or maybe someone that you really trust in your family, but otherwise you're going to want to keep these kind of to yourself. Not everyone that you know and love, or everyone on your social media will be on the same page as you. It may mean that they don't quite understand what you're talking about or why you're doing that, or maybe they're jealous, who knows. But whatever the case may be, you may not get the support, and it may just give you like static that you don't need. So keep it to yourself, the things that you're working on. Not everybody needs to know your business. Kind of keep it on the down low, Capricorn. Not that you don't already anyways. You guys are earth signs, and you're not as social media-ish. I don't think you're not as I don't know how to say, willing to put, everything about you on the internet. I don't really see that with Capricorn too much. But one of the things that did come up is that we want to really re-examine like what we're doing with our life. Like, is this really what you want? Is what you're doing now what you want? Do you enjoy it? Is it still what you want? Because it may have been what you wanted 10 years ago, but now are you like, why am I hate this? Really look at it. And that's the thing. Like, you may have to forgive yourself for pigeonholing yourself into somewhere. You may have to forgive other people for maybe getting you in a financial bind to where you had felt you had no choice and had to maybe do a job you don't like to do, or maybe a relationship. But whatever it is, it's time to really examine what's going on here, and really it's time to see, is this still what I want? Is this still what I want? Maybe I wanted this before, but I don't know now. So it's a time, Scorpio is a time to really go deep, really deep. And I know it's hard for the earth signs to, not that you aren't deep, because you are very deep, but you're not really into looking at that so often. You're not always into talking about how you feel, or even really paying attention to how you feel. It isn't always the first thing on your list that you want to do with other people, especially. So we're going to get into your reading pretty soon here. One thing I do want to say is, if you would like a personal reading, you can find me at bitchinahurry.com. I am finally all caught up on my personal reading, so that's really, I was like 2 weeks out, so that's pretty exciting. You can also find me at Bitch in a Hurry on Instagram. And if you would like, I am right now, when I am available, doing a one-card answer question and answer. So if you have a question you'd like to answer, I'll pull a card for you, and we'll get to know each other a little bit, and I don't charge you for that. So that is, you can send me an email just letting me know what your question is at notsomysticaltarot@gmail.com. And they have been really fun so far. So everybody, it's been great getting to know you, and thank you to all my new subscribers, and for all the comments and messages and love, and I really appreciate it, and I'm having a great time with you guys, so thanks. We'll see if we get another card here. If not, we're going to just get started with our reading. We're just going to let these rest for a moment while we talk about the first cards that we got, and this is very strange. Sagittarius got this card too. the card of the Aquarians, the card of anything you want to be, do, or have. Dreams can come true. So that's the thing. What are your dreams now? Because as Capricorn, we're going to really re-examine. You have to go deep at the Scorpio new moon, because it may be way, way down there. Whatever you have that you really want to do, you may have kind of buried that, or you may have kind of pushed it aside, like I can't, I don't have time, or that's not who I am, and whatever. But you really have this opportunity now for something that you dream about to actually attain that. And I really want you to take a look at that. And I think why you have pushed this aside, you have the moon card, you have the star and the moon, right? And the moon card is a card of kind of illusion, delusion, where you're not seeing things clearly. And that could be why over these last 10 years, you sort of pushed aside some things that you wanted to do and said, no, this is what I do. These are my goals. This is my goal. And you're like, they don't even make you happy. But because of the delusion that, you have to do this, this is who you are, you have kind of pushed this stuff aside and kind of repressed it and stuffed it down. So it's going to be time to like pick up the veil and really bring everything to the light of day. Because it's like I always say, this is the card of like candlelight dinners. You can go to a restaurant that's all candlelit and it's enchanting and beautiful, and then you see it by the light of day and it's got the same dirty floor, nicks on the walls. It's got the same mess that you would see if you were at a McDonald's. But at night, when it's all lit by candlelight and there's soft music and you get like this ambiance. This is what the moonlight does. Is it sort of lies to you. So we're gonna remove the lies and kind of lift up that veil and really expose the dreams that we have. What do they really look like? What do we really, really want? What is going to make us really happy? It's time to re-examine that. We have here the Nine of Pentacles, which means you're actually pretty successful in what your goals now. You're very close to reaching these goals, which may be a reason that we're re-examining them as well. You're very close to reaching, because the 10 is like the fulfillment of a cycle, So you're at the 9, and you're having a reasonably serious amount of success, either personally, financially, in your personal life, at your job. But you're getting to that point where, like, where do I go from here? Like, I've achieved everything, and so now it's time for something new. And that could be what this is, too, is that now it's time for something new, something that you've always dreamt of and wanted. It's time for something new. These stupid apps keep coming up and saying they're closing. I'm like, I don't care. Anyway, it is time for something new. You've achieved quite a bit of success, and you're actually very close to these goals, which may be why you're re-examining them. It may not be coming from a place of the fact that you don't want these same goals anymore, that you've outgrown them. It may be just that you're near to achieving them, and so it's time now. What are we going to do next? And here we have the Two of Wands, which is an action card. It tells us it's time. It's time to take a little bit of action. It's time to evaluate what's going on. You've had your success, but now it's time to take some action. And start to think about this. It's kind of like a start to think about what we're going to do next. Like what is coming next? And that's what I feel like for this Capricorn. It's not, this re-examining of goals is not because it's not something that you want. It's because it's something that you nearly have fully achieved. And now you're like looking at it going, well, what's next? And we have the Page of Pentacles. And the page is like your, kind of like, see the owl down here? The page is like your all-knowing messenger that's not flighty and woo-woo. This is like a serious message of either for your financial life or your practical everyday life, but this is not like a message of something that's like a dream or something unachievable. This is a message saying that, there are some things that you want to achieve. Now is the time. Now is the time. This is not a message of like, move to a commune and give away all your possessions and, chant under the sun. This is not, be a breatharian. This is not that card. This is a card of like, this is your opportunity. You've got the wisdom down here, and you've got the pentacles. This is your opportunity, and you guys are the pentacles. You guys are the earth. You're an earth sign. This is you guys. It's like, okay, you've almost completed this goal. So where are we going next? Well, there was this one thing you always wanted to do. And, you never thought you could do it. You didn't think you had the time. You didn't think that it was practical. But you know what? Now's the time. we've achieved, we've made our mark on in this particular way, and now it's time for something new. A messenger is telling you it's time for something new. And this is going to involve quite a bit of mental energy. You are going to have to do some evaluation, and even get a piece of paper out, with the good, and write down what it is, good, bad, what makes sense, what doesn't make sense. But this will be, it will require a lot of mental energy for you to kind of resurrect this that's going on, and for you to also remove this veil of, oh, I can't do that, or, whatever, the delusion that's going on. You're gonna spend some mental energy, and you have all of the mental energy here, but you see her, she's also taking a rest. So you've expended this mental energy. It's very exciting. Like, you're looking in a new direction, but don't forget to take some time out for yourself. Don't forget to take that time and breathe, take a rest, because you can't just, you can't, and as an earth sign, you're very practical, you work very, very hard, but you can't burn the candle at both ends. So you want to make sure that you take some time to, after all of this evaluation and this resurrecting, and especially, like, being an earth sign, getting into all this deep emotional stuff is not always something that you really enjoy. So it can be mentally very tiring. So make sure that you take this rest. She's taking this rest. She's not giving up. She's just taking a little bit of a break, and that's perfectly okay. What we see here is the Lover's card. So it could be a practical relationship. It could be your job. And I say oftentimes, if it isn't a relationship, a lot of times this card is like you changing careers into a path where you're like you're completing yourself, like you're finding the other half of you. And this feeling makes you feel whole. You feel like you're finally doing what gives you the complete and total satisfaction. You're finding your other half. You're doing the activity that makes you feel alive. Like this, it gives you the other half of your soul, kind of. So make sure that you really give yourself the time to evaluate. With the the star and the moon, it tells you you have these dreams, you have this stuff. You just have to kind of chip away at all the nonsense that's here, move it all out of your realm, and then take the time to evaluate each and everything, and give yourself the opportunity to become full like that, to feel that kind of joy. Now, I mentioned when we were talking in the beginning about the Scorpio new moon, about keeping this to yourself, because especially being that you are an earth sign, you're practical, you're smart, you're responsible. Not everyone will be on your page, so this is kind of the secret keeper's card. You're going to want to keep this to yourself, especially you guys, and Sagittarius got this as well. I mean, a few of the other signs too. This is just a reinforcement to me that this is not something that belongs on your social media. This is not something that you need to tell people that are really not that important to you in your life. This is something that needs to be kept to, and possibly just to you, unless you have like a very dear best friend that you really completely trust, that you can absolutely be your total real self around. It's really better off just kept to yourself. I'm going to get a couple more cards to just kind of round this out. I'm very interested to hear what you do as you're accomplishing these goals that you've been working toward. What now? Because that's what this is saying to me, is what now. It's not that you're not going in the right direction. It's what now. Here we're going to want to be cautioned. The Five of Swords, this is mental energy, like a mental tug of war, mental chaos. It can be defensiveness. It can be other people coming at you with like a negative thought process, making you feel less than, or making you feel that you have to defend your position, or why you want to do what it is that you want to do. And you can't allow that to happen. And we're going to have these last two cards, and then I will let you guys go. But we have the Eight of Wands, and this just says what you put out into the world is going to come right back at you. You have this Two of Wands to begin the thought about taking action and evaluate, and then you have the Eight. So you're going to want to start to take steps toward this process. But just know that when you put that intention out there, those intentions are going to come back to you. There will be a result of you putting your intention out there, but the result is exciting. You have this King of Wands, and the King of Wands is the king of action. He's like a superhero, and he's like charismatic. He's almost like got the Midas touch. Like whatever you touch turns to gold. Look at all the yellow. It's almost like you can't lose. So whatever this is, when you make the decision to start and then put it out into the universe, You can't lose. Can't wait to hear. I'll talk to you guys next time.